And I said...
Oh, you were doing some guesstimations?
I was just doing some guesstimations. But
I love a good guesstimation for cereal.
I honestly, Amanda, I did some good guesstimation. I'm good at bagging and good at guesstimating.
You know why it's great to guesstimate with cereal? You don't really want to know the truth. Because nobody wants to see how sad it is to just have a half a cup of Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Okay, thinking about cereals. Honey Bunches of Oats, kind of the best of them all. It's a good breakfast because you got the oats. It's a good dessert because it's sweet and they got the clusters that are also the oats. It's a good lunch because you got the wheat, the little flakes.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
All the time.
It's the best. Here's why. You got the Cinnamon Toast Crunch shakers and the Cinnamon Toast Crunch bakers. It's the Cinnamon Toast Crunch shakers and the Cinnamon Toast Crunch bakers. It's Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
I didn't know that song. I just thought I'd...
I know you danced. If we were recording, people would have been like, she yes-anded that little jingle. It is these three little ones that are like, they're bopping around.
They're like Snap, Crackle, Pop.
Yeah, they're kind of like snack.
Cinnamon Toast and Crunch.
But better than Rice Krispies.
Oh my God, I love Rice Krispies though.
Do you like Rice Krispies or Rice Krispie treats?
Rice Krispies.
Really?
I do. Growing up, I ate Cheerios and Rice Krispies.
I like Cheerios.
Chex Mix?
Yeah, I prefer Chex Mix, the snack mix, better.
And you prefer Cinnamon Toast Crunch?
We want to clap?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Hi, I'm Maggie.
And I'm Amanda.
And we're sisters.
In law.
We're watching Suits one episode at a time.
It's a show so nice, I've watched it twice.
And a show so great, I'm watching it late.
Thanks so much for tuning in.
Maggie's never seen it and Amanda's obsessed. They don't wear fancy suits, they are casually dressed. They are sisters-in-law and they got a show about a law firm drama that aired a few years ago. Only Suits fans, 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 only Suits fans.
This is Season 7, Episode 9, Shame. And Season 7, Episode 10, Donna. Donna!
Shame on you, Donna.
Donna, you are shame.
Shame you are, Donna.
Do you know the song Shameless?
I know the show Shameless.
Oh, because
I know about being shameless.
Okay. I was about to bust out.
Sing it.
Garth Brooks.
Sing it.
'Cause I'm shameless. Shameless as a man can be. You can make a troubled fool of me. I do anything at all. Oh, I'm shameless.
Some real throat work you did there. That was some real throat work.
Some real throat
that.
work is not the first time I've heard that today.
Okay. well,
Things that make you go, Do you know that song?
No. Okay.
Did you brief?
I did.
Thank God. I did not.
Okay.
Well, you put it in bold.
I did, because this was a bold brief.
Yeah, you were texting me about this last night.
I was. Okay, here we go. Holy smoocheroo. Donna kisses Harvey at the end of episode 10, and I don't know where we go from here. Speaking of smooches, Lewis's sass smooch has landed him some smoochulations and filled him with regret. Speaking of regret, Alex does not regret leaving Bratton Gould, even as they try to make him a second-rate attorney and steal his big client. Speaking of clients, Harvey and Mike's guilty client lands them in a whole heap of trouble when it brings back a skeleton Harvey didn't even know was in his closet, a nemesis that he doesn't even recognize, Andy Malik. Speaking of skeletons, it's not even Halloween, and these episodes were good for a few jump scares.
Ooh, that's good. That's a good way to end it.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Speaking of endings,
that was pretty good. Speaking of endings, let's talk about the beginnings.
Let's do it. Even the BC time.
Before the credits.
Lewis, our man, he comes into the office looking anything but relaxed. The receptionist, he also has that scruff on his face.
Yeah.
That he slept over and did not shave and then strolled right into work in that same suit. It's like, bro, keep a tie on you.
Oh my gosh, I bet he's so smelly.
He smells real, you know what? He smells bad.
Real, you know what, bad.
Yeah. The receptionist calls him a homewrecker. And then all the associates start chanting, shame, shame, shame. And it's like a lot of associates, none of which we've ever seen. Okay?
Yeah, and also I thought their firm was small.
Right. There's a ton of associates, and it's very much has like either a West Side Story / Cell Block Tango vibe to it, you know? Mm-hmm. And Lewis tells Gretchen to cancel his meeting with Lipschitz. And Gretchen tells him that that's the most important part of the week, particularly for her, not just for him.
Yeah.
So he snaps out of his shameness, his shame hallucinations, and Gretchen's got it all organized, you know?
And then he goes and checks in with Brian, who is Craig from Degrassi, if we remember, on this random case that he picked up, because he picked up a case and he was like, this is super important and I have to go deal with this. I can't talk to you about Lipschitz, Gretchen.
Right.
And he goes, and it's actually this case about nipples.
Yes.
And Lewis actually does need to help Brian on this case about nipples. And there's a lot of nipple talk.
Yeah.
Nipples, nipples, nipples.
Yeah.
And they need to fight immediately or they will lose the right to sue them. Basically, a nipple company has copied the nipples for a baby nipple, a pacifier, most people call it. And it's like the same patent, same design. But if they don't get on it right now, they won't be able to sue them.
Yeah, because there's like a time
limit.
frame, 60 days or something like that.
Yes, yeah.
Mike is reading the Morning Journal, and there's a new deputy assistant.
Attorney General?
Yeah, when I read it, it said deputy ag, and I was like, agricultural good guy? Like,
Well, he calls it the deputy AG. He doesn't say attorney general. He just says there's a new deputy AG. And
you're completely right. I literally, everything in my brain melted when I read that, because I could not.
Because you were like Aggies.
Yeah.
He's a deputy Aggie.
He's a deputy Aggie. A deputy Aggie. We didn't ever have deputy Aggies. You're
just sergeants.
You're just an Aggie.
Don't you have some sort of sergeants or colonels?
Well, we have the Corps.
The Corps.
Yeah. I didn't do that.
No.
Let me start this one over. Mike is reading the Morning Journal, and there's a new deputy
Attorney General.
Why don't you read this one? Just read it. Maggie? This brain thing has frozen my brain.
Okay. Mike is then reading the Morning Journal, and there's this new deputy attorney general who wants to clean up Wall Street, and he's really going gung-ho, trying to round up a whole bunch of people. And Mike says, listen, Harvey, I want you to pick a fight with him, because I screwed up with the prison case, and you need to go on the offensive again. So we're going to sign a client who is already on the attorney general's radar, and we're going to go on the offensive so that you can get in the game, get it going.
It's so great how attorney general just rolls right off your tongue.
Speaking of rolling off tongues,
we hear our favorite song.
We do.
A greenback booger.
7 other piece of pie for your wife.
Nipples. You want to talk about that one?
Yeah, I do. This is a great storyline. Just all about nipples, 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 nipples.
Nipples, nipples, nipples.
So Lewis and Brian go and meet with the nipple company, and they realize, like, the guy who's there to greet them's like, oh, you're from Pearson Spector. Totally leaves off lit, of course.
Yeah.
And this nipple company tells Brian that he doesn't know what he's doing as a father or a lawyer, because if he can't put a baby down without a passy, then he's not doing a good job as a dad. And Brian freaks out. And honestly, this is a very Craig from Degrassi moment where he gets up in his face.
It is.
And he's just like, you lying sack of shit. And you can just tell he's so charged with so many emotions.
I thought it was fake the first time I saw it.
Like, yes, like, who would say that to someone? Who owns a company that makes pacifiers and then calls parents who use pacifiers bad parents?
Yeah.
Also, it is impossible to get a baby down no matter what you do.
Yeah.
Passy or no passy.
Yeah, your babies have been up for years.
They've never slept.
Yeah.
Not once in their life.
Yeah. Lewis loved watching fierce, manly butterfly Brian emerge from his pussy cocoon. These are Lewis's words, not ours. And he wants him to lean into it. He's like, that was so great. Mufasa Brian is the only Brian that Lewis wants to see from now on. He's like, channel it all the time. Pretend that they're sitting around talking about how shitty you are as a dad.
He's found his protege.
Yeah.
In Brian.
Yeah.
Then Lewis is staring at Sheila Saz's contact info on his phone, and Gretchen comes in to say that the nipple company is on line 1. Mm-hmm. And Lewis is like, great, put him through because I need this win. Mm-hmm. And they're about to hear from Mufasa Brian, and they're going to be shaking in their boots. Mm-hmm. But he's not shaking in his boots. He's like, oh, you didn't read this before he sent it over? Mm-hmm. And then Lewis reads it and realizes there's a huge mistake in it. And then the camera kind of shifts, and it's like this man on the phone who works for the nipple company is Sheila Saz's fiance. And this is a hallucination, right? Or is that real?
Oh, this is real.
He really is Sheila Saz's fiance?
Yes.
In real life?
Well, not like in real life.
No, I mean in the show.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell. I was like, is this really happening, or is Lewis just like imagining because he's getting bombarded with stuff? Do we see Sheila Saz's fiance again and it's this guy, or is this a hallucination that Lewis has concocted?
I think it's real.
Do you see him again?
I can't remember.
I thought it was like once Lewis was on the ropes, then it was like all the guilt and shame was coming for him. And like this man on the phone, he can't even hear what he's really saying because he's just getting eaten alive by this thought of the horrible thing he's done.
I don't know.
It was tricky. But then I was like, Amanda will know for sure because she'll know if we see this man again. Do we ever see Sheila Saz's fiance?
I can't answer some questions. Okay?
Well, you can answer if we see that man again because that would clarify.
Maggie? I am having a hard time right now wrapping my head around the fact that that could have been a hallucination. It has never been a hallucination.
On your fourth watch.
Or fifth. I don't even know.
I mean, how random would that be that Lewis picks up a folder for a client, just a random folder, brings it to Brian, and then they have to go talk to the person, and then it happens to be Sheila Saz's fiance that is the counsel for the nipple company?
It's not the weirdest thing. He's an attorney.
It's not the weirdest thing. That's true. I don't know. Maybe people know. I'm sorry.
If we were recording, you could see that I'm wearing a Christmas sweatshirt and I am dumbfounded.
It was wild.
Could somebody please tell us?
Someone tell us. Carl, someone. Let us know.
Oh my God. Okay.
Okay,
what
sorry.
What did Kyle say?
Huh?
What did Kyle say when he was watching it?
He was like, is that a hallucination or was that real? And I was like, I don't know. I think that was a hallucination. He goes, yeah, I kind of think it was a hallucination too. But like, because the camera changed, but it was really weird. It wasn't like the shame. It was like comically hallucination.
This is going to live rent free in my head.
Okay,
let's keep going. I don't even know how I can get through the episode, but let's try and see if we can do it. Okay?
This whole episode is a hallucination.
Okay, it's like life is, you know?
Yeah.
All right, Lewis confronts Brian about sending the TRO using the word inferior about the nipples. Okay? Nobody wants to know their nipples are inferior.
No.
If it was inferior, they can't be the same, and then they can't sue, right? Dang.
Dang.
Lewis kicks him off the case, and he yells at him like he's yelling at himself.
About like the Sheila Saz stuff.
Yeah.
Then Gretchen goes and confronts him in the bathroom about yelling at Brian. And he's like, well, I'm going to fire you. And she says, listen, you talk about these associates like they're your children. Well, a father doesn't treat his kids that way. And watching your back is my business. And you need to get a better handle on whatever it is that you're avoiding lipshits about. Or I am going to knock you out, she says.
I loved this.
It was great.
I loved it.
And then her next exchange with Brian, I was like, look at you. You're like running. You're running it.
You're running it.
You're telling people what they need to hear.
She was a little hard on Brian.
A little bit. But she had just come off this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So then Brian turns in his letter of resignation to Gretchen. And he's not going to put up with Lewis. Gretchen calls him a little pissant. She says if it was her son, she would tell him it was his case and his mess and he should find a way to clean it up. And don't talk shit about her boss to her face again. So
say it behind her back.
Yeah. Go in the closet and talk to other people and hide.
Lewis hears what Gretchen has to say and goes and apologizes to Brian, but Brian has also heard what Gretchen has to say and says that Lewis was right. He did mess up the case, but he also has a way out of it. So he has found a pattern with the company, and he stayed up all night, skipping his own night shift with his own child to figure out this pattern.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? I am worried that I am a bad father, which is why those words really stung. And Lewis goes, you're not a bad dad. Let's go spank those nipple-stealing motherfuckers.
Yeah. I mean, they're really just ripping the cuss words around left and right.
Nipples, fuckers.
Yeah. Gretchen is in the bathroom, and Lewis visits to tell her that she was right, and he is sorry. And she says, the dumbest thing you've ever said was when you... He's like, I've said a lot of dumb things. She goes, the dumbest thing you've ever said is when you ordered me to adopt a family of Siamese cats for the office. Which is just her
So
delivery.
perfect.
It's like that line when she said it a few episodes ago. She's like, Lewis, your brain ain't right. She didn't cancel Lipschitz either. She moved him to meet at the office that night because she is Gretchen.
She's got his back.
She's Gretchen.
Lipschitz then does meet with Lewis, and Lewis comes clean about the whole Sheila situation. Lipschitz tells him, like, your heart's in the right place, but Lewis cannot get her out of his head. He says it's Sheila. It's always been Sheila, which I agree.
Yeah. Lewis goes to visit Brian during the night shift, and he's there to help him babysit. He's like, I'm going to come tap you out. So the baby starts crying, and Lewis tells him, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. I'd like to say that baby is 3 days old. I mean, that was the tiniest little baby. That was like, I felt like tinier than maybe any of your babies when they were born.
My babies were like the size of a hand. They were so little.
Okay, well then that baby was...
He was so sweet. And normally I feel like on TV sets, you end up with a baby who's like, this baby's 4 months old playing a newborn.
That was, I feel like...
A tiny baby.
I also feel like it had to have been like Brian's baby. Like
his actual baby.
Yeah, I wonder whose baby that was. Like,
yeah.
Because nobody else, they're like, no.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it must have been someone on set's baby.
It had to have been somebody on set's baby, right? Like,
yeah.
And maybe one of them. Because Lewis has a couple of kids. I don't know about...
Craig Manning.
Yes.
That's his character from Degrassi.
Yeah, I don't know about him. But so I wonder if it's one of the two of them.
Yeah,
because it was such a tiny baby to just randomly cast. Hey, can we get a newborn?
Yeah, no, it had to be someone on set's baby. Okay.
All right, then we have Zane and Zane.
We got Zane and Zane in the membrane.
And if you'll recall, we did have an episode a long time called Zane versus Zane versus Zane versus Zane.
Yes.
Yes.
And now it's Zane and Zane and Zane ampersand Zane.
Yes, it is. Mm-hmm. Daddy Zane visits Rachel in her office. He wants to work with her, inspired by Frank Gallo. He's like, I want to do some work. It's interesting what Frank did in his last moments. It was inspire Daddy Zane to go work with his daughter. He has a pro bono for her. It's predatory lending that's taking advantage of people of color, and he's already cleared it with Harvey. So let's go.
She's ready to go.
Yeah.
So Rachel Zane and Daddy Zane then meet with the lender's lawyer about this predatory lending. Mm-hmm. And they're like, we want to depose the CEO. And she goes, okay, no, you don't just come in and depose the CEO. You're not going to do that without a fight. I'll see you in court.
Zane and Zane are in court asking to depose the CEO. They can start by deposing the loan officers, is what the judge tells them. But unless there's enough to make a case, they will not get to depose the CEO.
So then they're going over their plan to depose the loan officers and get them to start talking. And Rachel has a sweet moment. She goes, this reminds me of when you helped me with Model UN. And he tells her he's so glad that she put off the wedding to spend time on her career because now he gets to spend time with her. Mm-hmm. I bolded Model UN in the notes.
Okay.
I did Model UN for 1 year.
Did you?
Have you? What clubs did you do that were like that? Have you ever... Any did dance in high school?
I'm sorry, is that not the equivalent of Model UN? I also did piano. Okay.
Like clubs at school, you know, like, oh, like we just meet around and most of the time we don't do anything. And then sometimes you get to travel to a college campus and...
Yeah, I did student council. I did, is it Key Club or Kiwanettes is the girls version? I can't remember.
What's that, like business?
Yeah, I mean, I think, and there's like some community service. I also did drill team on top of doing dance.
Yeah.
And
drill
theater.
team, okay.
I got lucky because in the high school when we moved, that was a high school where you could like do more than one thing. Because like in Tyler, you had to kind of pick a lane.
Yeah.
Sports if they were out of season, but like you couldn't really do other things. Like you couldn't do dance and drill team because it interfered with competition season. So you couldn't do it like sports.
Oh, interesting.
Because drill team was football and then competition season was
right there
spring.
too.
Yeah. So I did theater and dance, which was really great.
What plays did you do? I don't know this about you.
That I was in theater?
No, what plays you did? I feel like I would know.
Well, we did The Music Man. We did Guys and Dolls. That's when I learned how to use a breakaway bottle and had a breakaway bottle.
I did know that.
Broke over my head.
I did know that. Mm-hmm.
Classic. I was the hot back chickie. I was also the lady who seduced everybody in the nightclub in Havana. I don't know if you have picked this up from the podcast, but I don't have leading lady vocals yet.
Isn't that so disappointing to be
is.
like, I'm a leading lady in my own story, but I do not have the vocals to lead a lady.
Well, you know what they say about me. If I could sing.
If you could sing, then you
would
know
know me. You just know
of me. That's episode 1.
Was that episode 1?
I think that's episode 1.
Dang.
You wouldn't know me. You just know of me.
Yeah.
Amanda, full circle.
Yeah, there we go. So I didn't do anything cool like Model UN.
Model UN is not cool.
I feel like it's cool. I would, you know what? I would sign up for adult Model UN right now.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if it's an option anymore, but I would totally sign up for that. That
would
be cool.
I did it 1 year because my high school boyfriend did it. So me and my friend Rima signed up. Mm-hmm. And then we got to go to Syracuse to go to the Model UN competition. Mm-hmm. And we honestly were so confused about what was going on. And so we just passed notes back and forth to each other. And then if they asked us to vote on a resolution, we did. And they were like, your country would not vote on that. And I'd be like, well, my country's changed. It's under new leadership.
That's awesome. I did United Way. I was in the United Way Youth Action Council.
Uh-huh. That's different.
Yeah.
It's a way, not a nation. I was leading a nation, making nation decisions.
Nation decisions.
Okay. So then we are with the very first loan officer that Zane and Zane are interviewing. She happens to be a black woman, which seems like they're a little surprised because this is a predatory lending case based on race.
Yes.
And she says their lending process makes it impossible to discriminate because it takes out all the demographic information and they're just looking at the numbers.
Right.
And Daddy Zane is super pissed and he reacts hugely, and this stops the depositions for the team. Like, no one else is going to get deposed because he can't control himself.
Yeah. Rachel checks in with Daddy Zane now that he's had some time to calm down because he was heated.
He was heated.
And she wants to know the truth about what's going on. It turns out the man who runs the company is a predator through and through. His sister worked for him, and he made her life a living hell with sexual harassment. And Daddy Zane was too young of an attorney to take it on, and then she died. And seeing Mike risk everything to help those prisoners is what really inspired him.
Daddy Zane is inspired by Mike Ross going behind his boss's back to simply defy Harvey Specter, and also by Frank Gallo.
Yes.
He's pulling inspiration from all sorts of places.
Wild.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this last storyline, really the last big storyline is Andy Malik, who we meet for the first time. This is that new deputy attorney general. So Harvey and Mike are at the gym and they're going to go meet him and tell him to drop the Elmont investments, just knock it off.
Yeah.
And then they call him a showboater. And Andrew Malik says, oh, you don't remember me? I worked with you for 3 years in the DA's office, Harvey Specter, when you were there for Cameron Dennis. Harvey is like, I literally do not know this man.
Yeah.
3 years they worked together.
That's crazy. It makes you wonder, how closely did they work together or how into Harvey was himself?
I think Harvey was into himself.
Yes.
Pretty hard.
Yeah. I said that sentence backwards, but you got it. Thank you.
I understood it.
Yeah. Flashback. Andy Malik is talking to Donna about the unfair treatment of Harvey by Cameron Dennis, and he says he's going to be there forever and outlast them all as a prosecutor. He also kind of alluded to them, to Harvey and Donna sleeping together in that one, and that was not right.
Yeah, and that Cameron just likes Harvey, and so he treats him differently, and he doesn't care that Harvey doesn't work as hard.
Yeah.
But Donna also was like, that's kind of part of it. It's not just how hard you work, it's also what you're bringing to the table.
Yeah.
So Mike and Harvey back in present day are reflecting on picking this bone with Andrew Malik. And Mike is like, I am so sorry that I brought this to you because now it's personal and it does not go well when we have personal stuff.
Right.
Donna interrupts to tell Harvey that Andy is actually a conniving and sneaky little MFer. And Harvey's like, okay, but I'm awesome. And so I'm going to be able to take care of it. Mike compares him to Louis Litt and Elliot Stemple rolled into one, which, what a combo.
Wow.
And that is a tough combo.
Yeah, it is.
But Harvey thinks he can handle it. And just as they're there, Andrew has subpoenaed their new client.
Yeah, we got some subpoenas slapped on us.
Yes, big subpoenas.
Deposition with Andy and the new client, Mrs. Stanger, and he leads with Harvey selling out his other clients.
Yeah, he's like, how do you feel about that?
Yeah. They tell her not to answer a lot of questions, and Andy he's very slimy. Like, he's a slimy dude. He does a good job of playing it. He doesn't care if she's innocent or not. She is going to prison, which
He says,
and they get it on TAPE. That's tape.
He should have spelled it out. He couldn't have spelled it out any plainer.
No kidding.
So Harvey gets off the phone with the last board member of the company to just make sure that they're all locked down before they get subpoenaed, so they're not going to turn on Mrs. Stanger. Then Mike's like, actually, we need to cut a deal because she looked super guilty. I knew she was guilty, but I thought we'd be able to figure out a way to get through it. But Andy's got us. And then Harvey realizes, wait, no, we have him on tape admitting her guilt does not matter to him, that this is a personal thing.
Yeah. Andy and Mike and Harvey meet with the judge to talk about the trumped up charges of Andy and him trying to make a name for himself. They say they have it on tape, and the judge says Andy has 24 hours to prove them wrong and go find some evidence.
So Mike and Harvey toast with a victory drink for defeating him because they think he won't find evidence in 24 hours. But then look who comes in. It's Andy. And he comes in to also celebrate because he's got a copy of tomorrow's paper as discovery. And he's got him. Because he's got him. And then Andy, as he's leaving, sees Donna. And he's like, oh, I see you're in the same position you've always been in.
Yeah.
He's just a dick.
Yeah, he's a real dick. Mike and Harvey show the journal to their client, saying there was a memo telling people to sell off a division. And she didn't write it, but it is true that she said it. She tells them to do their job and stop this thing from getting into court.
Right. Basically, it's a technicality. She did want people to sell it off, but she never put it in writing.
Yeah.
So this is a false piece of evidence.
Yeah.
So Mike says Andy is not going to be able to get the memo in court because you can't use a newspaper article because of the rule of evidence. You have to have the actual evidence, not a newspaper article citing the evidence.
Right. Andy presents the article as evidence in the court.
But does he?
What do you mean?
I mean, later we realized that he didn't actually.
Andy presents the article as evidence in the court, but does he?
We don't know, really.
Yeah. Harvey says the article itself is inadmissible without the article.
Without the evidence.
Without the evidence. And Andy says Harvey buried the memo because he has done it before and he can prove it. If Andy can prove that Harvey has done it before, combined with this article, it will work as evidence. And Andy is going to expose the times that Harvey has crossed the line.
Which is too many to count, frankly.
Yeah.
Harvey and Mike need to figure out how Andy is going to put the Clifford Danner buried evidence onto Harvey because they're like, that's the only thing that he would know is Clifford Danner.
Yeah.
And Donna's like, I know how. He's going to depose me because he just did. So this means they got to do a mock trial. And they're going to need Lewis to be the prosecutor.
Donna and Harvey chase Lewis out of the office to tell him he needs to be a prosecutor for the mock trial. And he says to ask Mike or Alex, but it has to be Lewis because Lewis can do it.
Because he has to be slimy.
Yeah. And he agrees, but he has to do something first.
Okay. Then this little last bit is just Donna's love life. So throughout the episode, 2 moments happen. Rachel goes to check in with Donna about the date that she went on. And Donna's like, I actually called it off. And she does not want to talk about it. This is the date with her ex who left her because of Harvey.
Yeah.
And who wanted her to sleep with him even though he was married.
Yeah, he's slimy.
He's slimy too.
He's slimy boy, he is slimy Mark. Slimy boy, he is slimy Mark. Donna visits Rachel with a bottle of wine to tell her what happened on her date.
She's going to come clean.
Rachel says she would never judge Donna. Yeah, Rachel can't judge. We know this because she's done this. And Donna can push her away as much as she wants, but she's still going to be there for her. Then Rachel asks if Donna regrets putting Harvey over this guy, and Donna says, I think maybe I regret putting Harvey over myself.
Oh, Donna.
Awkward.
But good realization, Don.
Let's be a little self-aware.
Very good, I think. I thought that this was going to be Donna really like pulling herself out and being like, I don't need Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a strong, independent woman.
Mm-hmm.
Then we roll into episode 10 with the title, Donna.
Oh, Donna. Oh, Donna. I had a girl. Donna was her name. Dooby-doo-doo. Since she left me, I've never been the same. 'Cause I love my girl, Donna. Ooh-wee.
I almost pulled my own
Where
microphone.
can you be? Again, everybody.
Oh, Donna.
Oh, Donna. Oh, Donna. Oh, Donna. Watching your reaction to me singing a song that exists is like
A song that exists.
is the same feeling I got when I said to that class today, have you guys heard of that song, Things That Make You Go, hmm? And all of those college students looked at me like, you're crazy.
Yeah, that was a good song.
I think it was, I don't know who sang
I
that.
have no idea. Someone who loves Donna.
It's the 50s, early 50s song. This is way back
I could
when.
tell.
Could you tell?
I could tell.
Okay.
You changed your voice into a voice. I was like, this is an early 50s radio voice.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to lay that in thick.
Oh, good. While you're singing it. Put it over.
I think it was that slow. I think that's how slow it is.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I can't believe you never heard Oh Donna.
I bet I've heard it. I don't know.
We used to have to listen to the oldie station, and the oldie station now is just like songs I listened to growing up. It's the 80s and 90s, but back then it was the 50s and 60s. It's like, my boyfriend's back and you're gonna be in trouble.
Hey now, hey now. Okay, here we go. Before the credits, episode 10.
Mm-hmm.
Paula asks Harvey why he keeps second guessing himself before the trial. And she's like, maybe it has something to do with Andy and Donna.
Right.
And she is not threatened by Donna. She admires his loyalty, and he is someone who protects everyone in his life fiercely. Yes. And she goes, not everyone with a past like yours would do that.
Right.
So she's like,
it's one of the things she likes about him.
Yeah, she loves him.
Yeah.
So Alex quickly in the office updates Harvey about Bratton Gould's the Gould from Bratton Gould, going after Pfizer. Harvey tells him, go get him. This is one of Alex's biggest clients, so he has to go keep him on the roster.
It was so corny when Harvey was like, Alex, go get him.
It was so corny.
Because Alex has already established he's going to get them.
Hey, I'm leaving. And he goes, okay,
go get him.
Go get him.
He's like, he already told you that, dude. He's a partner. He's going to go get him. He knows it.
Yeah. It was very corny and very jarring almost.
Mm-hmm. Not a jump scare, but a jar scare.
It was a jar scare for sure.
For sure. Flashback, 25 years ago. Daddy Zane tells his sister to get transferred and not make any trouble at the firm. But that's not who she is.
She makes good trouble. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Then Rachel has a way to get this case back on the books because it's been rejected basically without these interviews or these depositions. And if he has a pattern of treating women differently, Rachel has the evidence. Yeah. And he will find that. She will find that.
Yes. Donna is preparing for mock trial, but Lewis says that they're not going to do this and she's not going to have to get up on the stand. They both worked on the Clifford Danner case, and so it's work product, so that means like it's protected.
Yeah, she doesn't have to testify about it.
But Mike's going to have to present because this case is all about Harvey. And so the more Mike can talk, the less that Harvey can talk, the better.
Mm-hmm. Okay, after the credits, Zane and Zane again continued. Rachel is putting a woman up on the stand who was fired by Arthur Kittrick, who is the CEO that they've been trying to depose. Mm-hmm. This woman says that he made her life a living hell. Mm-hmm. The prosecution denies this quote-unquote load of bullshit. Mm-hmm. And then Zane and Zane establish that he has a pattern, and it is reasonable that he does have a pattern of discrimination. Mm-hmm. And because of this, they get to depose Arthur Kittrick.
Yeah.
Flashback.
Daddy Zane's sister, Jasmine, asked him to take on her case, but he can't because it would be risking everything for a case that he can't win. But she just wanted him to have her back.
Then we see present day. Rachel tells her daddy that they don't have to do a deposition. They've actually gotten a settlement already. She went behind his back and got it. But Robert is like, no, I need to get that bastard in the room. And this is about like making him understand what he did to my sister.
Yeah.
And this is the guy who hurt my sister so bad that her life was ruined.
Right.
But Rachel doesn't think that they can actually win. And he's like, no. I took the coward's way out once before. I cannot do it again. The only condition Rachel sets on this is that she is going to take the shot. She is going to be the one who does the deposition. He needs to sit and be calm.
Yep. Because she doesn't trust him.
To not lose his temper.
Rachel deposes Mr. Kittrick, and she asks if attractive women intimidate him. And then he goes off on a tangent about beautiful women of color. And then Daddy Zane can't help himself, and he gets upset. And the case is going to get thrown out because of it. Because he loses it. Because the guy knows what he's doing.
He's a
playing.
creep.
Yeah, he's a total creep.
Total creep.
Yeah.
So, flashback. Jasmine has died. Robert gets this phone call about his sister, and he just says, I could have and I should have helped her. But Rachel's mom comforts him and is like, oh, you don't worry, babe. Like, there's nothing you could have done. And then baby Rachel comes running in and sees her daddy crying. Cute little kid.
Yeah. We don't really know how his sister passed away.
But apparently it was because of, I assume drugs or like something. Like he spiraled her into, yeah. Daddy Zane is lost in thought. He really shit the bed and they should have taken that deal. But Rachel says maybe not. Maybe you could have that one-on-one with Kittrick after all. So Daddy Zane presents Arthur Kittrick with a settlement. Meanwhile, with this little trick, Rachel is presenting the same deal to the board, and she's telling them, you need to drop this guy, and you need to take this settlement. Or you can roll the dice with the jury, but guess what? The jury doesn't look like you anymore. The jury is going to be a diverse set of people, and they are not going to like this man.
And also, I've already told you now, so if this comes up again, you're all party to this.
Yep. Very important.
Yeah. Alex talks to Gould on his knees begging. Gould has won.
And wait, this is...
that's Alex versus Pfizer. Yeah.
So basically, Zane and Zane win.
Yeah.
They get a settlement.
Zane in the membrane.
Zane in the Zane. Okay, now let's talk about Alex versus Pfizer, but not really versus Pfizer, really versus Gould. Trying to keep Pfizer. So he goes to see Brandon Gould about trying to poach his biggest client. And Gould says, while you're drinking that shake, he says, and then Gould tells him like, I can't help if I'm going to like drink your milkshake, which is a line from what movie? You drink my milkshake.
Oh, I don't know. I was just thinking about how sometimes a milkshake can bring people to the yard.
It's true. Yeah, and he's really trying to bring Alex back to the yard by drinking his milkshake. And Alex tells him, while you're drinking that shake, choke on this. I just thought it was so funny. Choke on this.
Choke on this.
Go get it, Alex. Go get him.
Choke on this.
Choke on this.
Maybe that's the name of our episode.
Choke on this? Perfect.
Right after our other two. Right after Penis Bush and Squatty Long Dick. Choke on this.
It's perfect.
Lewis does his little angry penguin run down the hall to yell at Alex. Alex can take all the associates he needs because they're family, and Lewis will not let anyone hurt family. He's like, what do you need? You got it.
At first he's mad, and then he's immediately there to support.
Yeah.
Then Alex tells Lewis that they have a problem. They've looked at everything, but they cannot figure out a way to trap Gould, keep Pfizer, do what they need to do. But Lewis is like, I've got an idea. We need a buyer, but not a legitimate buyer and not a buyer from this country. And he calls up old Dr. Lipschitz to see if he will pretend to be a German buyer. And Dr. Lipschitz like, no. That's basically, he's like, no, Lewis, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
So they need to figure something else out.
Alex talks to Gould on his knees begging. Gould has won, and Pearson Spector can keep Pfizer, but he wants Alex back with all his clients that he has. But Alex is going to stay at PSL with every one of his clients, and because Gould has just admitted to like, this is what I was trying to orchestrating, because he's using the dictaphone 10 million.
Dictaphone 10 million.
It's the dictaphone, it's back. It's the dictaphone, it
it's
records facts.
Oh.
That's not a song from the 1950s.
No, but that's a good one. That's a jingle.
That is a cute jingle.
Alex then goes and tells Lewis that he has never let anyone down. Like, Lewis has never let any single person down. He's there for everyone. And the dictaphone plan worked. Mm-hmm. And Lewis says, that's great, but I do need to make it right.
Make it right, yo. Make it right.
Make it right, yo. Make it right.
Andy Malik versus Donna. Harvey tells Mike to go get down to help. Wait, I don't even know. You go.
So Harvey goes and he tells Mike, go get down to help with Lewis. And Mike is like, is this because Donna is special for you? Because that could cloud our judgment. Are you sure that we shouldn't do this mock trial? Everyone's ready to do it. And Harvey's like, we are shutting this son of a bitch down today.
Mm-hmm. Mike says the prosecution cannot call Donna to the stand on work product cases. Andy agrees that Clifford Danner has nothing to do with this case. And it's a different time that Harvey crossed the line, and Donna can take the stand.
Yikes.
Yeah.
So Alex asks Donna what she did before becoming a legal secretary, and now, you make 6 figures. And then he asks her about Coastal Motors document shredding. Harvey tries to stand up and reject, but he makes it seem like Harvey only made her COO because she shred documents, she's an actor, and maybe her and Harvey sleep together. So the judge is going to allow the article to be admitted as evidence. My question is, Donna also worked on Coastal Motors, so is that not covered under the same, they worked on a case together?
Yeah, I don't understand how this is different.
Like, every single case that Harvey works on, Donna works on.
Yeah. The only thing is that I guess we don't completely understand the work together, like, context from the DA's office as opposed to there.
But maybe.
Right? Like, I don't know if there's just something different because you're working for the state, you know? Like,
yeah.
I don't know if that has anything to do with it. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a great question. Like, I would think that would also be their line. Be like, this is work product, dude. Back off.
Yeah, I would literally just say anything about work. I'd be like, work product.
It's work product.
That's work product.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a great question. Maybe we should ask your daddy.
I'll ask my daddy. He'll be like, no.
He's like, don't ask me those questions.
No, I just mean like, he's like, this is not real.
Oh, he's like you're calling to confirm things in a TV show
that are not real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so then Janet, the client, is pissed because she just watched what happened. And Harvey realizes that Malik is going to put the squeeze on someone in the company, or like that he already did put the squeeze on someone in the company to leak the memo because she did not write it. Right. So they got to figure out who leaked it by going to who it got leaked to.
Yeah, that's the worst feeling when it's like it's coming from inside the house.
I know.
Yeah. Mike and Harvey meet with the writer of the journal article. He won't reveal his source, as he shouldn't. It's a good journalist. But they tell him the memo is fake. But the source had a working relationship with both Mike and Harvey and did not work with their client.
Right.
Which is like
so it's coming from inside that house.
Yeah, it's really interesting plot twist.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're trying to figure out who this could possibly be.
Yeah.
Right. But first, Donna is staring out into space, and Lewis goes to check in, and she goes, bullshit, that you're my friend. I asked you to protect me, and all you did was protect yourself. She's so pissed. She's so humiliated. Mm-hmm. She just wanted Lewis to do the mock trial, and he didn't because he was too scared.
Yeah. Lipschitz and Lewis are together, having a little meeting, or what we call a session. Mm-hmm. He's pissed that Donna came at him so hard, and Lipschitz suggests he's mad he didn't go through with the mock trial because he is feeling shame about his own intimate relationship. Lewis thinks Lipschitz is saying it's all Lewis's fault, and he gets out. Which
is not what Lipschitz was saying. He was just like, I think you're feeling this way, right? But Lewis is like, cannot hear it because he is just, this Sheila thing is eating him alive.
Yeah.
He is devastated. So Mike and Harvey are trying to figure out who turned in Donna, who knew about Coastal Motors. And Donna's like, I know who it was. It was Holly, that private investigator, espionage lady. Sexpionage.
Yeah.
So Mike realizes, oh my gosh, we've been bamboozled. And Harvey is actually the person who entered in the article into evidence, not Andy, because he was holding up another folder and we just assumed it was the article he was entering into evidence because he had come to us the night before saying that's what he was going to enter. but it wasn't. So they are the ones who have entered this article into evidence by mentioning it. So Donna is pissed and she is going to go fix this. She's like, I'm on it. I'm going to go fix this.
Mike is working on a gift for Paula Agard, who called to get advice for something to get Harvey. Mike thinks it's because she thinks Mike is his best friend.
Which is so sweet.
Yeah. This leads to Rachel saying she thinks Donna regrets never telling Harvey how she feels.
Yeah. And they have this like moment, like Mike has this aha moment.
Yeah.
Too. Like he never knew. Like he never thought about that.
He thought about it.
Mike did.
Yeah, because that one time they're having the conversation at Harvey's place. He's like, are you going to try not to fuck Donna at my wedding? Remember?
Right. But he didn't think, but that's different than like, oh, Donna has real feels for him.
That's fair.
You know? Like he seems kind of like, oh my gosh, I never thought about that. Donna goes to apologize to Holly and kind of get her to talk about her being the source. She goes, when I first met you, you're so good at reading people. And I didn't realize at the time, but it's because your dad's an alcoholic. And Holly is like, okay, they have this moment where she's like, you get me and I get you. But she cannot do what Donna is there to ask. She cannot turn on Andy. She cannot take the stand and admit that she is the source.
Right. Mike is up late at the office, which is Donna's office. And he wants to talk to her about her feelings for Harvey and that she needs to tell Harvey how she feels. Even if there's like the smallest chance that she might ever want to be with him, ever. Donna says 2 people have to want to be together to be happy, and Harvey and her don't want to be together.
Which is like, is that true, Donna?
Right. It's just so interesting that Mike is meddling in this.
I know. Mike meddles in everything. Mike thinks he can solve it all, though,
Yeah.
So then Mike and Harvey confront Andy with all of his shady dealings, the thing with Holly, all of this. And he says, you should have been able to get our client convicted without planting all that bullshit in the article. And now I'm going to call you up to the stand and have you defend yourself because you're calling my character into question. Well, I have questions about how this article got planted and you need to drop this case.
Yeah.
Very good pointing the gun back at him.
Harvey tells Mike, thank you for bringing him the case. They're even for the whole prison thing, which I thought was funny. Like, are we even now? Yeah, we're even for the whole prison thing.
Yeah, like all of the...
Yeah.
I cannot believe how quick they are to forgive each other on some things and how big of a grudge they hold on other stuff.
It is consistently inconsistent.
Consistently inconsistent indeed.
Mike asks if he's talked to Donna yet, but he hasn't.
Because Mike's thinking, oh, Donna's going to confess her love to you. And Harvey's thinking, I know, she got real shook up on the stand. I'm going to go tell her that we did it, that we solved the case. So then Andy comes in and tells Harvey that he is going to go after Harvey's mentor. And it's not Cameron Dennis. It's his real mentor. It's Jessica Pearson. And he's like, I'm going to disbar her because she knowingly supported the fraud of Mike Ross. So Harvey's like freaking out. He goes to his apartment. He's trying to call Lewis. Jessica is already there. And she says she has already been disbarred. She cannot be on the wall if she is disbarred. It is time to take her name off the wall. No one cares about this in Chicago. Lawyers actually don't care if you're unethical and get disbarred in another state, I guess.
I guess not. Interesting.
It's interesting, especially in Illinois. They like really don't care.
They don't care in Illinois.
Yeah. But he's ready. He just needs to figure out how to spin taking Jessica's name off the wall.
Right. Donna is staring out her window again. And Lewis comes in to say he's sorry, that he should have prepared her. He said it was because of Sheila, and he tells her everything. She accepts his apology, and then he talks about how he feels stuck, and he knows that she's with another man, but all he wants to do is say, can't you see, like, the man that you're meant to be with is standing right in front of you? And he says, I'm going to have to live with this for the rest of my life, and I should have said something when I had the chance.
And Donna's just like,
And then Donna's spiraling. You can see it. She's like, oh, I'm hearing that in my own life. And then Harvey comes in and she just walks right up and kisses him and says, sorry, Harvey, I just had to know. And Harvey looks stunned as you were texting me last night. Like, how does he look like such a goof acting like he didn't know?
He's like, what? Wait, why'd she do that? Does she think that I'm someone else? Why'd she kiss me? Like, that's the kind of face he's making.
Yeah.
Like, why? Why would she ever do that? Does she hate me?
Yeah, it's a face we don't ever really see from Harvey.
He always seems to know what's going on.
He is totally perplexed and thrown for a loop. Like, big time.
Right after Paula says she trusts him with Donna, and then Donna goes and smoocherooskies.
I know. Seeing how perplexed he is, it's how I feel when I have the wrong train ticket.
Oh, no. Wait, can you check your ticket right now?
I can check it. And it does say that this one is right, and we're headed to Prediction Town.
Yes. Let's all aboard.
Choo choo.
Chugga, 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 chugga,
Choo
chugga,
choo.
choo, choo.
Next stop, Prediction Town.
Okay, Harvey is gonna be mean to Paula. He's gonna try and push her away because this has just happened. He feels guilt about it. He's gonna Lewis lit it, right? Try and like push, but
Push away instead of own up to it.
Yep,
Yeah.
and she knows. She's gonna read right through this. She doesn't know what happened.
Yeah, this is a psychologist / psychiatrist / therapist with the APA.
She's everything. Every kind of person that could sniff this out, she's
a sniffer.
Lewis is then going to do some big dramatic Shakespearean wedding interruption of Sheila Saz, although maybe it won't be a wedding interruption because maybe we never see her fiance because maybe that was a hallucination. I don't know.
Okay.
But I think he's going to interrupt something with Sheila Saz.
Okay.
Rachel and her daddy, I think, are going to work together. I think they're teeing it up very nicely. I still cannot believe Rachel is still on the show because I really thought she was not going to be on the show this long. I thought she married a prince much sooner.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that we have
Okay.
gotten 7 seasons in and she is still there. This must be her swan song season.
Okay.
It must be.
Okay.
It's got to be.
Okay.
I'm disappointed that Frank Gallo won't murder her because I really thought that was a good prediction.
Yeah.
Okay. Mike is going to get in trouble again. He's going to do something bad.
Okay.
Andy Malik will also be back this season and they will completely destroy him. But he's going to come back like pretty hot. He's not done.
Okay.
And then I think Donna is going to go run immediately and tell Rachel about the kiss. Like I think episode 11 starts Donna. She's there. She's got wine. She goes, oh my God, I kissed Harvey. What have I done? What have I done? What have I done? And then Rachel's like, don't worry. It's going to be okay.
Right.
Those are my predictions.
These are great predictions.
Thank you.
You just like churn them out. It's just so hard to make predictions.
Well, you know, because you've been watching Suits LA and making predictions on Suits LA.
Yeah.
It's harder in the beginning because we don't know the characters.
That's fair.
Right? But of course, I'm saying this, all of my predictions could be wrong.
But did you feel like because I knew him and you didn't, there was like a safety net in case you had questions about things and it made predictions easier? Do you feel like the predictions are easier for this in season 1 or Suits LA in season 1?
I gotta be honest, Suits LA is hard to make predictions because half the time I'm like, wait, what is this case about?
That's it.
I don't know why it's easier for me to understand
The
New York
legality
cases.
of this.
I feel like though sometimes they just break it down really simply, really slowly, and then in Suits LA it'll be like, here's this case and it's a complicated case, but we're going to give you every single piece of why it is complicated, and then we're going to also throw some personal twist on top of it.
Yeah.
And it's like, why don't you just, there's no space in between those explanations either. Like here it's like, here's a complicated case for this reason. We've solved this reason. It's complicated now for another reason. And I feel like Suits LA is like, it's complicated for these 7 reasons and we've got to solve them all.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a good way to describe it.
Okay.
Okay, because I'm feeling it.
It's hard. Suits LA is hard to predict.
Maybe it's also like the quick turnaround. It's like, oh, quick, we have to watch it set up and then like predict it. And it's like, I don't even know what happened.
Yeah, you don't get to marinate on it.
No, there's no marinating.
I try not to marinate though. I write these predictions.
You do write them right
immediately.
afterwards?
I do, because otherwise I'm like, I don't know what happened.
That's fair.
Got to go with your heart, your gut.
That's fair. Well, my heart and my gut says that people should keep listening.
Yes.
But really what my heart is asking is for reviews.
Oh my gosh, so many reviews, please.
Every time I talk to somebody who's listening, like somebody today messaged me. They're like, I'm watching the show. I'm listening to the podcast. I'm like, great. Can you please leave a review? Our friend Whitney, she went on a trip to go visit a friend. She got her friend to start listening to the podcast. I said, great. Can you please tell your friend to leave a review? Like, she's like, she's working on it. I'm like, I need her to work faster.
We needed this because it takes several days for it to hit.
Yeah. And we got something cooking up big time.
We got some cooking up cooks.
Yeah, we have some cooking up cooks.
We're in the kitchen cooking, and we need some reviews of our recipes.
That's exactly right. Thanks so much for tuning in. You can check us out at onlysuitsfans.com. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. And you can listen to us on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you get your podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review.
And if you don't know how to start your review, just say, it's me. I'm leaving a review. Because we ask you every week.
Every week. And you know who you are.
And you know who you are.
You know who you are.
And we appreciate you so much listening.
Is your name Donna? Like, oh, Donna.
Slow fade